You guys are going to love the show this week. Every week, I receive messages from people after the podcast. Now, sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, the best podcast ever. Sometimes, wow, I never really thought about that. But this week, a referee, a fellow referee of ours, a regional referee, Alex Perez out of West Virginia, sent me this email that just really moved me. He listened to my podcast. I think I launched it on a Friday, and he was driving to a tournament, like a college showcase 6 hours away. And so he put on the podcast we did last week with Kevin Klinger, and he listened to it, and it really moved him. And he was able to immediately put it into practice in his 8 games that he had that following Saturday and Sunday. And he wrote me like this long, like 5 or 6 paragraph email about how he was able to use kind of that breathe and reset and refocus thing that we talked about with Kevin. I was like, oh my gosh, man, Alex, you need to come on the pod and talk about that. How cool. So I invited him on, and I think you guys are going to love it. But first, a word from our sponsors. We all know the struggle of dealing with ancient assigning software. Clunky websites, no apps, missed emails, and constant confusion. It's time for assigners to upgrade. Refer Sports is the modern assigning platform built for the way we actually live and work today. It's sleek, it's intuitive, and it makes managing your schedule, whether you're the ref or the assigner, effortless. We want people to stop fighting with the software and start focusing on the game ahead of them. It's 2026, for gosh sakes. Every assigner should have a website, which Refer Sports will actually build them one for free, and a great app. Get modern with Refer Sports. You can find them at REFRSPORTS.com, refersports.com. Tell them I sent you. As referees, our feet are the most important tool. You're running 3, 4, or sometimes 6 or 7 miles a match. 6, 7, get it? So why are you wearing cleats designed for a striker who plays half the game or running shoes made for wide open roads? You need footwear built for us. Umpiro shoes are designed specifically for referees. They offer the arch support, stability, confidence to make cuts, and the cushioning you need to handle a triple header without being in agony tomorrow. Stop wearing cleats made for someone else. Wear referee shoes made for soccer referees. Check out Umpiro. Buy them at officialsports.com. Use my code REFSNEEDLOVE2, all spelled out, all together, for 10% off. It is an absolute steal compared to what I used to pay for my Hokas. And they now come in wide widths. They have a 3rd generation that just came out. You will absolutely love them. Hello, and welcome to the Refs Need Love To podcast, a show that gives you a real, raw, behind-the-scenes view of one of the hardest jobs on the pitch, the referee. I'm your host, David Gerson, a grassroots referee and certified mentor with over 11 years of experience, over 1,400 matches under my belt. You can find me at refsneedlove2.com, on Instagram, TikTok, and now on YouTube. We have a very special guest today, and before I tell you about him, I want you to know that I read every single message, DM, or email sent to me. It is gratifying to know that the content I put out into the world is appreciated. There's something that connects with someone and helps them to be a better referee, or a dad, or an entrepreneur. It's so gratifying. It's one of the most gratifying things in the world. I'm just trying to be a kind and good person, as my dad would have wanted. And I think the soccer pitch needs more kind and good people. Our next guest is definitely that. He listened to our podcast last week with Kevin Klinger on official mindset management and immediately put it into practice. And then he wrote me an email outlining his experience the very next day after he was on the pitch. And I was moved. I was like, oh my gosh, he's actually putting it into practice. So I invited him to come onto the show and share it with you. A little bit about Alex. He's a USSF regional referee based in Parkersburg, West Virginia. He's got 7 years of refereeing and officiates in the ACC, A10, Big 12, and Sun Belt collegiate pools, as well as USL2 matches. Beyond his own matches, he serves as a lead assigner and mentor for the West Central and MOVSA Youth Soccer Associations, where he's dedicated to building the bench for the next generation of West Virginia officials. Let's go. Outside of the jersey, Alex is a proud member of the IBEW, working as an installation technician in low voltage IT communications and infrastructure. There's a lot of that going on right now. He views the pitch as a high-speed leadership lab, and Alex is currently tracking for his national referee candidate this year and is a vocal advocate for the art of officiating, balancing technical mastery with the emotional intelligence required to manage the game's biggest personalities. Welcome to the show, Alex.
Wow. I appreciate that. I'm so excited to be here. I love listening to your podcast and then being on it. Like, I'm just super excited. I'm looking around and going, yes, this is awesome. Appreciate it.
Man,
So,
anytime you need a personal hype man, I'll be that guy. I love being that for people. Call me up. I'll pick you up, man. Definitely.
oh,
I'm your man.
so I've traveled through different states hoping to run into you because I'm like, this guy, I want him either to mentor me, be on my crew, or just hang out.
I have a good crewmate. That
Yes.
is, number one, I got your back. Number two, we're always going to have a laugh and a smile. But man, I'm going to be there. If I am your assistant referee, you can know when you look over on that play on the goal line, I will be on the goal line. It's that classic, Jack Nicholson. You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall. We'll be on that goal line. I swear.
Oh, man. That's a crewmate right there. I would back you up whenever the players turn. You need to say something. No, buddy. That guy's covered.
I've actually started to become like the assignment guy. So if my referees here in Georgia, in my local area, they're doing their regional assessments or their national assessments or whatever it might be. Like, I'm like, just bring me. I'll be your fourth official. I'll be your assistant referee. You won't have to worry about a thing. It's nice to know when you've got a good crew, people who are able to not only do the job, but help you be a better referee because you got confidence in them on the line. You got confidence in your fourth to manage the technical area and stuff. It makes a big difference for the person in the middle of the pitch. They can really just focus on doing their job, which is great. Let's talk. I gave a little bit of a bio about you, but talk to me a little bit about you as a referee. You're doing amazing, but a little bit about your background and where you're currently working.
When talking about yourself, you try to be as humble as possible. Really, we can get into this later, but real quick, got into officiating after seeing a huge brawl on the field. After that, I was like, I don't want to see that ever again. I'll become a referee. It's been roughly 7 years and I love being on the pitch. I've never played soccer before. I've watched my kids play. I've been a coach for a little bit. I didn't know what I was doing. For me, wearing the badge, the mission doesn't change. So whether I'm doing U8 rec or a D1 collegiate on ESPN, everything stays the same. I'm always learning, always mentoring. I love when I'm working with young referees, the mantra that I stick with all the time over and over again. And it's that have fun, make mistakes, and leave every game better. So for me, I've been a regional referee roughly a year and a half now. I'm also an assigner. I'm also now, I think they've added Mentor Plus. And in the collegiate world, you've already listed those places, but I am proud to get accepted to the NAIA National Championships this year. That was cool. And then on the off weekends, I'd spend time on the local lines, just trying to build the next generation. I love seeing young referees and take ownership of being a referee.
Yeah. I do want to ask a follow-up question though. So you said you didn't play soccer growing up. So what sports did you play?
So I did what back in the day was everything important. I wanted to do football, never did football. I did basketball and I traveled through basketball for many years. I rode the bench my 7th grade year. I love sharing this story because on my 7th grade year, even though I rode the bench, I was the team hype man. At the end of the season, coach gave me this big glass, 2-inch thick trophy. There were some other teammates that were jealous, but because of that, that's why I started loving sports. It's not just about being talented. It's the people you have around you.
I think it is really interesting. There's so many people out there who be like, well, I can't ref because I didn't play at a high level or something of nature. Or, I can't ref because, I wasn't like a top player or something of nature. It's like, yo, there's so much more to being a referee than being able to kick a ball or be able to, dribble well with your left foot or something of that nature. We need people who are athletic to get up and down the pitch, but have a deep appreciation for the game. And I think there's a lot of people out there who may not have been great athletically, but have a real love for the game. I was a rugby player in college and I'm team captain. I was not the best player, but I understood the game and how to motivate my fellow players, and I understood how to communicate with the referee actually as well, because I knew the laws inside and out. I was such a nerd, and I became a rugby referee eventually. But I do think that is important, that you shouldn't limit yourself or say, I can't be a referee. You've taken your love of the game, and you said your kids had played for a long time, so you got to watch them, and then you decided, oh, well, maybe I want to referee. I mean, how'd you make that leap? Okay, now I'm going to referee soccer.
All right. So this leads back into that little piece of story that I shared earlier. My daughter played rec soccer and my son became a varsity player for the high school team. watching these games and seeing what soccer is meant more to him than anything else. I was a dad. I tried to push basketball. Hey, don't you like basketball? But no, he loves soccer. And so I was like, okay, I'll go with you on this. And through this journey, just watching soccer, I fell in love with it. And you have these games where you come up and you have a big brawl on the field, a little extra kick here, a little extra tackle there, and people getting upset. The referees on the field, God bless their heart, like they were trying their best to keep this match under control, but somebody decided to throw a punch, back him up, and now there's a big brawl of 22 players on the field with coaches running on and everybody running on, grabbing and holding. And then I see the fence line and parents yelling, pointing, and then now the two opposing teams are next to each other, and now they're grabbing, pulling, pointing. Yeah, I never want to see that ever again.
Listen, man, becoming a referee out of spite because you don't want to see games get out of control or you want to see kids get hurt is a really good reason to become a referee. Honestly, I think if people think they can do it better, come do it. We want people who are concerned about kids' welfare. We want people who want to keep games in control. So talk to me a little bit about the reason for the email. You reached out after listening to the Kevin Klinger episode last week. Set the scene. So you've got a long drive going to your games and you listen to this. Talk to us about the listen and then what you had to do that weekend.
When I was listening to you guys, there was a lot of things that came up that I just loved. On my long drive, I'll listen to music. It was 6-hour drives from West Virginia down to Gatlinburg. So I was like, I'm going to throw on some podcasts. And yours is always my first go-to. First good listener here, by the way.
Thank you.
So, and I saw the name Kevin Klinger and I was like, holy cow. There's different Zooms throughout the United States. I've joined Cal South, Florida, Ohio, Maryland. I'm a student of the game. I love it. And then when I saw his name, I was like, I remember him talking about dissent and how to assess it, going through what is green and what is red. How do you can let it go? How do you assess? And knowing him, the way he spoke that presentation, I knew that this podcast was going to be on point. So went through, flipped it on, turned you guys on. And right as I was listening, about that time, I received an email from US officials. I joined their website recently. And he got the director of education?
Right.
So I saw that and I was like, the stars have aligned. This is great. This is the guy. When you guys started listing the triggers, biased, cheater, incompetent, slow, all the things, I was like, not only was I just listening, I was nodding while driving going, Yep, that was me. I feel that. Holy cow. I got to apply this stuff. It is now added to my toolbox as I was moving forward. I was like, this first game, I'm going to implement this.
Yeah, I hear you. So you're driving to this tournament or this set of games in Gatlinburg. People don't appreciate it. I always appreciate when someone's trying to be regional or national and they're trying to get game count, right? And you're trying to get these competitive matches, especially you in West Virginia, you're driving long ways to get there. So you got an 8-hour drive and then you actually had a weekend of 8 matches. Am I correct on that? Is it 8 matches?
Yes. And the divide wasn't like 4 and 4. It was 5 and 3.
So you've got 5 matches going out there. Did you have any opportunities or were you mentally challenged where you had to do a mental reset during one of those matches?
Holy cow. Multiple, because I try to insert myself into their players' thinking. And this is like the start of the season. Some of the teams that were listed had ECNL on their name, other youth elite type teams. And so it's January. I'm looking around. I'm like, okay, why are they acting like this? Yeah. Sometimes they want to go out and just kill each other.
Yeah.
Why? It's 8 p.m. and it's 36 degrees. Just play the game, put the ball in the goal.
Yeah.
Some of them are trying to gain a spot. I saw multiple cameras on the side. They're trying to build their highlight reel for a coach or team or a collegiate team or whatever they're going to. So I have to put myself in the mindset knowing the moment I step on this field and blow this whistle to start, they're looking to do something. Not that it's something bad, but it's going to grow because this guy's looking to get a better spot. This guy's looking to get a good highlight reel. This guy's looking to get a good defensive play going on. To them, they think they're doing just fine. But the person they just tackled and took out their legs almost did something reckless. Now they're upset. What are they going to do? Retaliate. So I have to put myself in the mindset knowing that this is going to grow and grow. So reset every game. Every game there was a reset.
Yeah, I think these days you can't trust what's on the game sheet. Like every team has some elite, premier, platinum, blah, blah, blah. You have no idea. But opening yourself up to the moment, like the match in front of you, being present and reading the room as to what's going on and knowing how you need to insert yourself early on is critical as a referee.
Yes.
So before you listen to the episode about a mental reset that Kevin talked about last week, have you done things like that previously? Have you consciously tried to do a mental reset mid-match?
The answer really is no. I know we bumble ourselves through some of the stuff, what we think is right. So to really answer that question, I don't feel like I have. I probably have I just need to do this or whatever. But sometimes you just stare, lock down, and think the next step is correct and just do that. And maybe that's flight or fight mode, but this is a whole different ballgame because you have to be the calmest guy out there. Like person in front of you is already defensive. So the moment your volume goes, they're going to go higher, next higher. And then now we're here. And now you've stepped into a part where you have to deal with it.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing to learn how to take that step back. I see way too many times when referees escalate, they'll take steps towards a player, towards a coach, or they'll use their voice and really raise their voice towards a player, coach, or spectator. And it never goes well at all. So talk to us about so you go to this tournament, you've got 8-game college showcase. Talk to us about what that feels like physically and mentally, because I have a feeling that when you've got that heavy physical load, it actually is a heavy mental load as well. So talk to me about that feeling, even you who's extremely fit and going towards your national candidate, 5 games in a day, especially when you do a bunch of centers, that's no joke.
It isn't. And everything is preparation. Everyone walks up to the field maybe 2 minutes before and goes, okay, guys, you get ball, tweet, let's go. You can't do that. And I've heard in many of your podcasts where that's a trigger for you. I'm with you on that one. Everything pairing up to even just a rec game, a youth elite game, or a USL game. There's weeks before that's happening to build up to this. I gave myself a new sports injury, plantar fasciitis in my right foot. Running 8 games this weekend was rough, but I knew it was coming. So before this, I'm doing everything I can. I'm talking to trainers. I'm talking to whoever just to give me any information on what to do with my foot. I made it through. It worked only because 2 weeks prior was leg press, mobility, adjustments, running, sprinting, all of the things up to that point. So I get to this weekend. I still do my 15-minute warm up before the whistle. And I was able to get through all 8 games through the weekend.
Yeah. So I think it is eventually not this weekend. I'm home this weekend. Next weekend, I go to California and I've got U10 games. They call it the Younger State Cup in Southern California. Right. I have not done a U10 game in, I can't even tell you how long. I mean, it might honestly be 5 years. Pre-COVID was the last time I did a U10 match. But, I'm going to be reviewing my local rules of competition. I might even watch some film on build-out lines. Just again, just watch a couple games, U10 games. I've got a lot of video access that I get to. I might watch and see what that looks like again, and what the speed looks like, and what a foul is at U10. And how they're applying the build-out line, and also understanding headers, indirect free kicks, all those types of things. I promise you, I'm not just going to show up and go. I think it's really interesting too. Your tournament that you had last weekend, to do that 2 weeks of work, you're putting in the time and effort to get yourself physically fit and ready to go for those matches. So I understand the physical toll, but there's a mental toll as well. If a referee has to make 300 decisions a game in an average 90-minute match, but by the time you've gotten to that 5th match of the day at 8 p.m. at 36 or 38 degrees outside with U19 boys, so heavily testosterone-filled young men, you've made thousands of decisions that day. Your body is hurting. And then you're pushed into this, okay, now I've got to make hard decisions and deal with people who are upset. Is there anything that you're doing to try and keep yourself focused on that moment in time and keep yourself steady and grounded on the pitch?
Yeah. The more I think about it, I do things in almost ritual based to get me to that point. I've been on matches where I show up and I'm expecting, I've said it, this is how this is going to go. And that has mentally thrown me off in games more than not. Everything I do beforehand is preparing for that. I'm looking at video, calling mentors. I have multiple referee groups that I'm in that I just throw in a text and say, hey, I'm going to this. They support me. Or I throw in a video or a scenario and everyone has their perspective and it's cool. I love seeing that and I love hearing that because there is times where I'm going to do a U10 match and I'm like, hey, I had this scenario. Why did it go bad? This is how the parents think. This is how the players think. This is how coaches think. That makes more sense. I would ask the question. I would tell you, hey, that's awesome that you're going to that grade state cup assignment. Blow the whistle. Don't get advantage. Don't ask the question. Was that fair? Nope. Blow the whistle. Those are the things that help me mentally prepare for what's next.
So talk to me about this journey that you're on as a referee. So you're tracking towards national. For those who do not know, less than 1% of referees in our country, about 1,000 referees, are regional. Make it to national badge. About 1/3 of the people who are regional make it to national. So we're going down to about 300 referees, and then pro is about 100, pro 1, pro 2. It's the elite of elite. So how does that pressure change your internal dialogue during matches or how you approach matches?
Oh man, there's a lot of video cameras around. There's a lot of phones that are always out. My 5th match was 36 degrees. I'm wearing my shorts, socks, and obviously long sleeve, but nothing out of the ordinary. I had referees that were wearing pants and beanies and gloves and all that stuff. I'm not going to tell you not to wear that. Please be comfortable. Don't kill yourself out there. But that pressure adjusts the way that I approach everything on the field. So I want to, in case anything were to come up, I want to make sure that I'm applying what I know, how to assess the situation, to look the part, to be the part, to play the part.
Mm-hmm. And so we talked earlier about you're a mentor, things of that nature. You're also a dad too. Do you look at matches in different ways? Like, okay, I'm going to take this assignment because this one gets me closer to my national bag. I'm going to take this one because that tournament's going to pay well. I'm going to take this one because I want a mentor. How do you break up the matches that you choose on a weekend? It's something I struggle with all the time. I want to be more places, meet more referees. I also want to give back and be a mentor, but I also want to challenge myself as a referee. There's only so many years I'm going to be able to still be on the pitch with those 18, 19-year-old, very fit men and women. So how do you look at each game?
Oh man,
choose.
Shout out to my wife. I love you. When I started this and going into regional, even before regional, I sat her down and I said, hey, look, this is what this looked like. It's going to cause a lot of sacrifice or going to ask for a lot of sacrifice. Are you okay with it? For me, somebody knows I started early. My kids are 18 and 24 and I'm 42. So you guys can do the math. I asked them too, hey, this is going to require me to be away a lot. So I'm working Monday through Friday. And then on the weekends, I will probably be gone as well. So they said, okay, if this is what you love to do, we support you in it 100%. We have a family calendar that all on our phones that has every single one of my matches and then whatever, is going on with them. There was a time where there was a wedding that my nephew had asked me to officiate and I had accepted an assignment and it popped up on there. My wife goes, hey, you're supposed to help officiate your nephew's wedding. And I'm like, oh, you're right. Yeah, excuse me, signer. I appreciate you for the assignment. I love it, but I have to turn it back. So there is times like that, but I do plan ahead. I plan multiple months ahead, all the way until May setup. So in February, I'm going to go to Kentucky for a showcase down by Louisville, the USL team and the women's, their training center. They're having a college show. Then the week after, Florida has the ECNL Bradenton. The week after that, I'm going back to Kentucky for the women's side of their second half of the tournament. And then 2 weeks after that, there's a MLS Next quarterfinals or anyways, in Ohio. So I have the next 5 weeks already set. I need to make sure that everything's in order and doesn't cause any conflict here at home, especially.
That's wild. So are you looking at those as, okay, these are money games. Like these are things where I'm just trying to earn money to be able to pay for my travel to the national events I want to go to. Are those mentorship games? Are they momentum games? Because you think that this is going to be the right type of games that are going to help move me forward as a referee. What are those games to you?
Yeah. And I'm glad you pointed those out. In my mind, that's where the categories are. When I accept these assignments for tournaments, they're either money, they're either momentum, and they're either mentorship. And this last one in Gatlinburg was strictly money. I need plane tickets. I need car rentals wherever I'm going in Florida. I don't have stuff down there, so I need to pay for all of that. So that was specifically that. Shout out to Miss Gina Foster. She's a great assigner, and giving you $100 for traveling more than 80 miles. And then every game above U16 was like 76 or $80 a game. So I was like, hey, I'll take that. So that's going in a separate bank so I can do these things. But along with that, I was able to treat this last tournament as a mentorship. I ran into one of your fellow referees, a young, yet 18-year-old referee by the name of Tristan. Armstrong. Yeah, great official. And with working with him, I just jumped into mentoring mode. Like, hey man, this was great. I loved how you did this. Think about this, do this. And he's nodding his head, yes. Oh yeah, I can definitely do that. So that was another thing too. Also, I turned around and was able to just mentor this young kid. It's now a week later, 2 weeks later, I don't know, but he reached out and we're sitting here talking about how he can get to college, who he needs to talk to. And I'm like, man, I'm not going to gatekeep. Here's who you need to talk to. Here's the steps you need to take. Let's move forward. So that filled the mentoring bucket. And then leading into my Florida trip, where there's going to be multiple referee coaches and mentors, that's where your momentum is going to kick in, because knowing how to talk to people, knowing how to use what they say and do to help you propel forward. So for me, listen, 7 years, I haven't seen a lot of referees say, yeah, in 7 years, I've accomplished this. I've only done in college 3 years. D1 on ESPN, who trusts someone in 3 years to put them on TV? Oh yeah, 3 years, no problem. It's because of those things that allowed me to be that for assigners.
I love that. That's fantastic. Just want to give a shout out to Tristan. Tristan was our Georgia Soccer Young Referee of the Year. He is on pace to be regional this year at 18 years old. His dad is also a phenomenal referee here in Georgia. Tristan got everything going for him. He's got the fitness, the maturity, his mechanics are flawless. He's grown up with the game. He's also open to feedback. Every referee who wants to move up better be willing to grow. And so even though he's a great referee, he's also someone who's very willing to grow. One thing I want to pivot to, if you don't mind, Alex, I'm really interested in this game you called The Wall last week. When you emailed me, I've got this pulled up over here. So the 8 p.m. Wall. It was my 5th game of the day. I've been at the field since 10 a.m. I had 2 U19 ECNL teams that had never met and clearly wanted to kill each other. In the first 5 minutes, players were swarming me. I actually had one player tell me that if I kept calling fouls, the game would, quote, get out of hand, unquote. My internal reaction was, wait, what? When I remembered the podcast, I used that deliberate breath, reset my posture, and realized I'd been triggered by the fatigue in the noise. Let's talk about that for a second. So you're in this match, you are physically and mentally exhausted. And the natural response when you've got some 18-year-old kid, and really they are a kid. I mean, I'm in my 50s, and you got some kid yapping at you, critiquing you. Your natural response would be to snap back or say some snarky comment or lose composure or all of a sudden engage in a back and forth dialogue. I've lived 3 lives to your one little life, all that kind of stuff. So talk to me about that. You've got this moment, you're physically exhausted, you're mentally exhausted. There's only so much one brain can do. What happened to you in that moment? Can you talk about how you got yourself through that moment and through that match?
It's now 8 p.m. I've been there since 10:30 a.m. and temperature has now dropped. 35, 36 degrees morning. Every player, every spectator, every coach has that big parka type of jacket on. And I'm standing there just in shorts and sleeves. Again, my standards, no shortcut, right?
Yeah.
So I blew the whistle to start. And within 40 seconds, what a foul, like immediately. Like, what? I figured the cold, anything that hits you when you're cold, it's going to hurt. Okay, relax, guys. Let's go. Immediately, I'm getting the business from players. Ref, this, ref. Come on, ref. I'm opening up my tool bag going, let's try this. Let's try this. And nothing was working. As this was happening, I'm just thinking to myself, what is going on? I literally asked my question out loud. I think players probably heard it. And I asked the question like, what am I doing wrong? Am I missing the point? I wish I had comms with my fellow referees. I'm looking at them and listen, I had a 24-year-old AR and a 17-year-old, poor Emma, young lady over at AR2, just getting it from the parents. She just wide-eyed. Like, yeah. as I drive by or run past her, I have to check in. I'm like, hey, everything okay? Anything comes up, talk to me. We will take care of you. Anytime any of the players turned and faced her way, I ran over in between. Hey, talk to me. Don't talk to her. I got you. Let's move on. So they were just out to do something. I'm really not sure.
Yeah.
So I had to find what that reset even looked like. 8 p.m. We're now 8:15 into it, 8:20. And like I turned the corner. I was like, okay, I'm done. So I'm going to call every foul. Like, this is what you wanted. And I actually snapped back to the players, and I caught myself snapping back to the players going, hey, this is what you wanted. And then I turn and look and I stop. I'm like, okay. I knew right away after I said that and did that, I was like, that's not right.
Yeah.
So I had to figure it out. The turning point is finding the reset.
Yeah.
And so you can control the controllables.
Yeah.
So those who are listening, even those who are like, I only do U8 matches, you can do the same thing. You can control controllables. I mean, something as simple as a free kick, a throw in, all of those things. And it sounds horrible to say, but sometimes there is times where you need to do selfish refereeing to allow you to referee. Because if you are just letting them have the game, whatever they want, you're too busy just trying to play catch up. You're going to lose. You're going to run out of breath.
Yep.
Hey, hold on. We're going to do the free kick here. Wait for the whistle, please. Let's set our 10. Are you guys set? Cool. All right. Keeper, are you ready? Are you ready? Yes? No? Okay, cool. Ready? Go. There's your breath. There's your time. You got to find where to do that. You're not taking away from the game, but you also need to give yourself the breath so you can reset and go.
I love that. I would just like say, so free kicks, wonderful time to take a moment, and you don't need to run around the pitch. You can jog or walk to get into your spot, set the wall and all those things. I highly encourage this for every referee. You should be managing substitutions as if it is a pro match. And when I say that, player comes all the way off the field before another player comes onto the field. Because again, it gives you time to catch your breath, to get yourself mentally ready for the next play that needs to happen. I see way too often where someone blows a whistle like tweet and subs and players are running on and like, okay, how many players are coming on? How many players are coming off? If it's one of those leagues that takes cards or you got to record subs, it's a mess. Take those moments and collect yourself, both physically and mentally, and also get yourself focused on that next play. I think those little moments on the pitch, there's like a real gem of wisdom by taking those deep breaths, and Kevin talked about that last week during those free kicks and subs. Use those moments to help you reset and get focused for the next play. So you actually had a snarky retort toward a player, to a teenager.
Yep.
You're a grown man, and you literally said, this is what you and your teammates want, and calling these fouls or something like that out loud.
Yeah, the spectators heard it.
All right, talk me through, you acknowledged it, you centered yourself, right? Have to address what happened, and then you got to transition to something else. So talk us through, what is that acknowledgement in your head, first off, okay? So what are you saying to yourself in your head?
So once you acknowledge it, like, your body tells you, it's screaming at you. Like, I told myself, oh crap. Those who are listening, you can't see my face. My eyes are wide. My mouth goes, oh crap.
Yeah, this is not national referee material here.
No, not at all. There is a human side to it.
We're all human, right? Sometimes we have these things that come out, whether it's a physical response, body language, facial expression, or sometimes the words, sometimes they do just come out. But you said it and you're like, nope, that's not right. So you acknowledge, okay, that's not okay. Walk me through it now.
You acknowledge it. You really have to just state the things that you're in at that moment. I was tired. I was cold. I was defensive already. So you acknowledge it. The next thing you want to do is use the free kicks as the mental breather. Like, the Gatlinburg is great place to just hang out in a cabin, sit by the fire and drink coffee. But at this point in time, that's all I can think about. I need to figure out how to just hold on. I'm out here. They paid to be here.
Yep.
Players are looking for a spot here. So I need to give them the game that they deserve.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For those who don't know, Gatlinburg is in the Great Smoky Mountains in far east Tennessee. Yes, Tennessee does get snow. It does get cold. So just set the scene, but it's a beautiful area, lots of mountains. So, right. So you're setting yourself, you're like, okay, I got to step away, take a breath. I've got this here. And, did you address it going forward with the player? How'd you transition out of this?
I knew I had to fight my way back. I've dug myself a hole. Like as a referee, the moment you do these things and start, you have dug yourself a hole because everyone's looking to you as a credible guy. Everyone's looking to you as the calm guy. Everyone's looking to you as the center guy. And once you show that crack or even open up to that type of snarkiness, you've lost them. So I had to fight my way back. I was looking for any player, anybody that I can attach to find who I can work with. I called over number 25 and I was like, hey man, I use hand signals low because anything up here is like aggressive. So hey, come join me, blow the belt type of thing. So to keep the heat down, I told them, I need your help. Your guys asked for this type of game. I'm trying to give them this game, but it seems like I don't know what you guys want. If I'm confused, it's going to make the game confusing. Help me keep them safe. We bonded there, and that allowed me, once I got with him, to see who else I could find and work with the other team and the other players.
That's so interesting. You're making allies on the pitch.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
No, I wouldn't call them friends, but they can be allies for a period of time. So you had this acknowledgement, you centered yourself. Now you're starting to make connections with players on the pitch to get better in alignment, and also people helping you manage the other players on the pitch. So how did everything start changing for you? Like your posture, your voice, your decision-making after that moment in time?
Yeah. Posture is a big thing. So here, like when you're small, again, those who are not seeing, like listening to the podcast, I'm like crouching down, like making myself smaller. The moment you do that, like everything is going to come down on you. If you push your shoulders back, helps you build up on the confidence you already have. Something happened, you now hunker down. So shoulders back, breathe, look at what's ahead of you to the next play. Because if we get stuck there, the game will continue the same way.
Yep.
So, you ask the keeper if they're ready, and then everything that just recently happened, it's gone. New game from here on out.
It's amazing how people can look at a referee and know, are they going in the turtle position? Are they like their head is down? They're scared making a call. They're not confident in the decision they make versus someone who's like, no, I'm in control. This is what I saw. Free kick. Let's go. It's a dramatic difference. The referee is not the anchor for a boat in the storm, but maybe it's those pylons that a boat like ties up to or something of nature. But they do look to us, the players. Okay, everything is crazy going around. And if the referee can be that calm in the chaos, that person who stands strong and stands confident, it just makes everyone settles down a little bit and they just start playing soccer more, which is really important. So you had this moment, you make this transition, you start making progress. Then you get to the end of the match. How did you know it worked? The reset worked. Or man, I had no credibility in this match. They've hated me. Like, how did you know?
Okay, this match at halftime, it was either 1-0 or 2-0 at the half. This game ended a 3-3 tie.
Oh, wow.
So drama for your mama. So at this point in time, throughout the game, I'm now talking more with players, game stuff, not life stuff. And it's this player was like, hey man, we should do a jersey swap. And I go, really? Nah. 2 minutes later, I call a foul on him. So that relationship has now been severed. We're playing, and the very last 2 minutes, there's less than a minute left, and the clock, I'm watching it count down, and it's 3-2. The blue team's down by 1, and at that point in time where I call the foul, this player now has a cramp. I'm not going to blow the game dead there. I'm going to let them finish out because they worked with me. I'm going to work with them. Hey, if you step off the field, I can continue this game. He's like, yeah, I got a cramp. A parent came by, held his leg up, and then blue kick. Okay, going to be on my whistle. Relax. Keeper, are you sure? Are you ready? He goes, yes. Okay, cool. Everybody's here from the other team. Run up. I'm like, oh, okay. Here we go. So it was not a beautiful kick.
Yeah.
It went like this, to the front person in this conglomerate of people. And then it bounced in, hit his leg, hit the inside post of the goal. And I go, what? That's a goal. Okay, here we go. Game's over. We're done because I'm not adding extra time. It's now close to past 9 o'clock. We're done. Everyone just shake hands and they're all walking to the bench. And I just wait for my crew. Good job, Emma. Good job, Goldman. And then as we walk over, the players are waiting for us. Like, hey, you guys did a great job.
Oh,
I was dumbfounded. I really thought the opposite. Seriously. I thought we're just going to let them handshake, grab our stuff and go.
Yeah.
And no, they were actually appreciative of this game. So that turning point really helped. And the lines were done. The coaches said, shook our hands, good job. And then the kid in blue came back. Hey man, we still going to do that jersey swap? I was like, are you kidding? I looked around for cameras first. Hey, I don't normally do this, but because it's 3-3 and there's no bias here, I will do this for you, sir. It's great. So we took it off. We held each other's jerseys and then we gave it back. And someone took a picture and it's out there in the world.
Wow. That's so cool as a referee. We have to remember our job is to be a judge, right? Where there is an official. Sometimes during the moment, people may not show appreciation because they're competing at a high level and their emotions are up. But post-game, there is an appreciation. Okay, that's another person who was on the pitch with me during this challenge. We're not going to get the same love that a teammate will, but we will often get some appreciation from a fellow competitor who's out there on the pitch. So talk to me about, like, you didn't just have, issues with players. You also you've had scenarios in the past where you've had issues with parents. Talk to me about how parent interference might trigger you. So there's, something a player says to you. Is there ever times when you've had challenges where a parent has said something to you, or maybe you talked about Emma, like a young referee? Have you ever had, challenges where you've had a dad being like an outside spark or trigger for you and how you responded?
Yeah, I have a scenario that I've never forgiven myself for. And I was in an Ohio tournament, I don't know, a couple years back. It was a U13 game. Great. I enjoyed it. It was a fun game overall. But there was outside noise from a parent sitting on their fold-out chair on a U13 game where a young girl was trying to throw in the ball. At that age, put the ball in play, let them kick the ball more than worrying about what a throw-in looks like. They'll figure that part out later. Yes, it's a competitive tournament, but it's just a youth tournament where they need to have more touches on the ball. That's what I wanted. I wasn't calling these foul throws. Put the ball in play, let it go into the feet. This game probably was a 1-0 game. That was the most exciting part of the match, the goal. See what the goal looks like. Put the ball in play. But this parent, every time, that's a foul throw. And just loud. It wasn't that he was saying anything personal to her. I can see her face, her eyes looked at me. And she didn't say anything. It was help. And I didn't do anything as a referee. So after that moment, anytime I have an outside agent, I have to assess it. When you're at these collegiate D1s, they will say what they say because they're paid to be there. But in these youth tournaments, games, whatever, like everyone's learning. Referees are learning.
Yep.
Like all the yelling is not helping.
That's right.
So anytime an outside agent, outside parent, spectator says anything, I have to look at them and assess what I'm going to do after that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think about the children that I'm refereeing as my children. But I just, if I'm a concerned member of the community, I'm responsible for these kids. I'm not going to let a parent say anything negative, nasty, that's going to ruin their experience. Their experience is all about growth, development, and forming a love of the game. And some, adult yelling at them, criticizing them is not fostering a safe, fair, fun environment. So for me, that's an issue. I've got to stop that in its tracks. Have you ever had a coach stay behind to thank you for tossing a parent?
Yes. I understand that coaches have a hard job in what they do, right? They're in charge of the bench, the roster, and they have to navigate through parents. In order to keep face, they sometimes can't say anything. They need to either, keep having their kid come in for payment or money or however all that works. Doesn't matter to me, but let's get our U.S. kids playing soccer. However that is, when us as referees have the courage and are brave enough to assess what's right instead of just making this up and actually follow through. If you heard the rest of the game, it was the best game that has happened. Yeah. And the team who lost, it was 1-0. They lost. They enjoyed this game the most because they had a chance to hear themselves and play through what was happening. Even though they lost every game, this was their best game. Yeah. The winning coach, he's the one that admitted, yeah, that was my parent. I've never had a referee throw at a parent before. Hey, I want to thank you, and actually very well job done. So I love hearing these things. It doesn't give me not even a pat on the back. All that tells me is that stuff that I've been training on, the stuff that I've been working on is working. Use those things to make the game better.
Yeah. I think there's a generation of referees who feel that ignoring abuse makes me strong or hard or I'm tough because I don't respond to people yelling at me. Okay. Again, and we talked about like MLS game, whatnot, like that's this whole entertainment experience, whatnot. We understand that's the direction given. At a youth game with children on the field, it's the wrong thing to do. If you've got that kind of toxicity out there and it's creating a toxic environment for the kids, it's destroying the game. So it makes it better when you do take that action. And I think it's so important. It's the strong thing to do to stop and throw the parent out. It's the weak thing to do to allow that toxicity to continue to destroy the environment for the kids playing the game and the next referee who has that parent on their match. All right, we're going to move quickly into the bonus round here as we come to the end of our conversation, Alex. If
Sure.
you could change one law of the game tomorrow, what would it be and why?
The pass back.
You say the pass back. We're talking about deliberate kick back to the goalkeeper. Why would you change it?
I would say, allow them to possess the ball. Okay. Now I get that there's this keep away type of,
right.
Everyone's playing forward unless they're winning maybe by 24 goals. The pass back is the biggest thing because the majority of issues that I've had has been around a appeal for a pass back by coaches, parents, players. If we take that out, then I think I would have less red cards and supplementals in my lifetime because of the pass back.
I won't totally agree, but I think there's a reason why we don't want someone deliberately passing the back to the goalkeeper and them to pick it up with their hands when like a defender's under pressure or something nature, and then you get this advantage of picking up your hands. So I'm gonna like disagree on that, but it is highly subjective as to what is a deliberate pass back by foot and what is not. Therefore, you get a lot of dissent and frustration from coaches, parents, players, and stuff of that nature, and it's a recipe for conflict and confrontation. So I'll give you that. I'm with you on that one.
It's a selfish ask.
It's okay. You've been traumatized. You've been triggered by this. So it's very sensitive to you. Okay, next one. What is something in your referee bag that would surprise most people?
I guess if you don't know me, it may be surprising. If you know me, you're not so surprised. I have a minimum of 3 of everything in my bag.
Wow.
You can see the jerseys back here. This is 1 of 3 of each because I've been to so many tournaments where, oh man, I don't have blue. Yeah, no problem. Put this on. Hey, I'm actually a large. Great. Before I had to lose weight. Oh, I'm just kidding. I actually wear medium. I have a medium too because I just lost weight too. So I have a minimum of 3 of whatever is in my bag.
Is this a carry-on suitcase or is this like a big suitcase? How big of a suitcase you bring?
So it's the official sports like big lug with the wheels in the back and the handle, and then it's this big one like almost huge. So and it has like that second layer on the bottom too.
All right. So Alex Perez, the suitcase referee. I love it. Next up, do you have any referee superstitions or pregame rituals, or are you just like 100% rational? There's nothing. You just walk out there, you're chill.
So I feel like I'm rational, but I do have things beforehand to get me in the mindset. On long drives, I'll call friends, referee friends, mentors, even pro officials, just to throw out some scenarios, just to get me in the mindset. A short drive, let's say 45 minutes to an hour or less, I'll throw on a playlist, but the playlist is specifically like football type of music, the Brazil type, the Spanish music, the drums that are just hitting.
Love it.
That's what I want. I want to be in the mindset of a game.
All right, cool. And then what is the most memorable, bizarre thing you've ever heard yelled from the sidelines?
Oh, okay. So maybe it's not that big, but I love sharing the story because of the ending. So years ago, I was on the sideline watching a high school game. There's this parent with us, and none of us are saying anything to him, and just relentless to the referee. Oh, come on, ref. It just bellows all the time after every call. And that one time is just, come on, ref. That's horrible. You're horrible. And your mustache stinks. What? That was a specific insult.
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
Just tasting mustache.
Yeah. And the referee on the field, he actually had a really good mustache. Okay. Fast forward a few years. I've become a mentor. I'm teaching a new referee class. I look out to the students and there's a parent. He's in the class.
No way.
During it.
The dude who yelled about the mustache is now becoming a referee.
I see him in the line going through the AR drills. Yeah, that's him.
Oh my gosh.
As he does the flag, he puts his flag up and I'm like, yeah. And your mustache stinks too. We both he didn't have a mustache, but he knew exactly what I was talking about. And the funny thing is, for friends, acquaintances, we've seen each other a lot more in the soccer world. I've ended up officiating his kids in college in the surrounding area, and they've now become referees. Well, and I love sharing that story.
Oh, I love it, man. If there's anyone out there who's referee curious and they're listening to this podcast, if you've said negative things to referees in the past, your penance is now to become a referee.
Yes.
And not because I want you to be insulted on the pitch, is because I just, again, it's a way of giving back and paying back, getting back some good karma for all the nasty things you may have said to referees in the past. I love that. Alex, man, thank you so much for coming on the podcast today. I really do appreciate you. And I hope I do get the opportunity to be on the same crew with you sometime in the future.
Looking forward to it.
All right. Awesome, guys. I hope everyone out there enjoyed today's pod. Please support the refs online. Everything that comes from that store gets poured back into making this channel possible. If you're trying to become a regional or national referee, the rare bit buzzer flags made in the USA by another referee in Chicago are fantastic. They're like a third less expensive than the other extremely expensive bags, and they're in your travel suitcase.
If they're a third less expensive, you should have 3 of them.
Like Alex, get 3 sets, and you get a flag, and you get a flag. Yeah, it's awesome. But yeah, no, flags are great. The buzzer flags, the weighted flags, coins, the pro cards, all those things are available in the store. Check them out. Maybe some merch, whatever. Show your refs need love to stuff. I mean, please, again, everything goes back into making the channel possible. And as always, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for all your messages. And I hope your next match is red card free.